Democrats win on health care, environment, women's rights, respect for democracy. But on those issues, I bet you that are the big ones that they vote on more: crime, immigration, wars, economy, corruption. So that's the takeaway there.
The only thing the Democratic Party stands for today is opposition to Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And I just read Kamala Harris's new book, 107
No,
Days.
you didn't.
I did?
No, you didn't. When they ask who has a better plan, Republicans crushing it on crime, immigration, wars, the economy, even corruption. Democrats win by 2 points on respect for democracy. Now, some of this is just because people are stupid.
Kamala Harris just released her new book. And surprise, it's all about how she supposedly isn't to blame for losing the election. Page after page, it's packed with excuses, emotional spin, and the usual woke buzzwords we've all come to expect. But then comes Bill Maher, sharp, funny, and fearless, ready to tear through her narrative. With his trademark sarcasm, he exposes Kamala as exactly what she is: confused, disconnected, and painfully performative. Get ready, because this one's going to sting.
Perpetuating victimhood, especially when it's false, is not a great advertisement for leadership. Kamala Harris's new memoir of the 24 election is called 107 Days, but it should have been called Everyone Sucks But Me. 107 days is a victim's title because, get it, she only had 107 days to win. Yeah, and $1.5 billion and a built-in army of about 75 million people who'd vote for any human-adjacent life form that wasn't Trump.
Kamala didn't just write a book. She wrote a political soap opera. In it, she throws her old boss Joe Biden under the bus, claiming he should have stepped aside sooner so she could have saved the campaign. She even hints that Biden ignored warnings about his mental decline. So much for loyalty, right? But Kamala doesn't stop there. She blames America itself, saying the country wasn't ready for a female president. And to top it all off, she says her downfall was because she couldn't get her dream running mate, Pete Buttigieg. Classic Kamala. When in doubt, blame everyone but yourself.
107 days, nothing is ever Kamala's fault. Biden lets her down by not stepping down sooner. Pouty face emoji. Gavin Newsom, he was asked for his endorsement, but texted, "Hiking will call back." But then never did. And then he didn't even ask her to prom. America itself lets Kamala down by not being ready for the running mate she really wanted, Pete Buttigieg. So she's stuck with the Home Depot paint salesman. And the rest is herstory. Poor Kamala. We made her the star of a rom-com and didn't even give her a gay best friend.
And here's where it gets downright hilarious. Kamala actually blames one of her own aides for ruining her chances. Yes, for removing Madam President labels from cupcakes before a rally. She claims that moment somehow doomed her campaign. But the aide only did it because, by then, it was obvious Kamala had already lost to Donald Trump. Imagine losing an election and blaming cupcakes. Bill Maher couldn't stop laughing at the absurdity. While the campaign was collapsing, Kamala saw frosting sabotage. You can't make this stuff up. But apparently, she just did.
Writes that on election night, when it was clear she'd lost, an aide peeled the words "Madam President" off the cupcakes before handing them out. Oh, geez, that's like a scene from Bridget Jones Runs for President, for Christ's sake.
And you know what? Bill Maher hit on something real. The women in the DNC have built this tough-as-nails image. Fearless, unbreakable, never emotional. But that's all an act. Behind the confident smiles and strong woman slogans is fear. Fear being seen as weak. They've traded authenticity for performance, trying so hard to appear powerful that they've forgotten real strength comes from honesty, not acting. The more they fake toughness, the less believable they become.
Ladies, I know this isn't fair, but we're all always running against the worst cliche of who people think we are. Women Democrats can't look oversensitive or preachy or unable to laugh at themselves. They also can't look silly, like Gretchen Whitmer did, trying to hide in the Oval Office. They have to look brave.
Now, if you're wondering why Maher went after the ladies of The View, here's why. They came for him first, mocking his comments after he questioned their silence on the Jimmy Kimmel scandal. But Bill wasn't about to let that slide. He called him out for being brave, only when it's safe. When rumors spread that The View could face suspension, the host suddenly went quiet. But the moment Kimmel's return was confirmed, they came roaring back, pretending they'd never been scared. Maher nailed it. Their courage only shows up when it's convenient.
It wasn't a good look for the woman party that all the guys were speaking out for Jimmy Kimmel when Trump went after him, except on the woman's show, where for 5 days the outspoken hosts were suddenly as quiet as a geisha.
Hosts like Sunny Hostin, Whoopi Goldberg, and Ana Navarro are perfect examples of selective bravery. Loud when it's safe, silent when it's risky. They've made entire careers out of outrage, canceling others for the same things they secretly fear being canceled for. The moment the heat turns toward them, their confidence vanishes. It's ironic. The self-proclaimed warriors of justice trembling before the very mob they created. Their hypocrisy isn't subtle. It's practically a daily performance on national TV.
On the fifth day, they rose and said, "No one silences us. No one had to. You silenced yourself." Whoopi Goldberg continued, "Did you all really think we weren't going to talk about Jimmy Kimmel? No, I thought you would, but then you didn't." 5 days? Talk about needing extra time to get ready. And if you can't take a breath and laugh at that, you're making my point for me.
The DNC, meanwhile, looks completely lost. There's no real leader, no clear plan, and no message that connects with everyday Americans. The party is trapped in its own echo chamber, run by the loudest fringe voices who mistake hashtags for policy. Instead of facing the truth, they cling to slogans and delusions. And Kamala? She's now blaming her own party for her failure. Instead of accountability, she's rewriting history. It's chaos pretending to be leadership, and it's showing.
Polling came out, and this is really, I'm speaking to the Democrats especially here, because Trump's numbers are down. They're down with Latinos, they're down with blacks, they're down 15 points with whites. And when whites say, "You're not hip anymore," ooh. And yet, in the other poll, on issues, Trump still winning. So this is your big opportunity, Democrats. He's down in the numbers, and you still can't score.
When it comes to popularity, sure, Donald Trump may not have the same unstoppable momentum he once had. But what matters most is that he's still dominating where it counts. The key issues on the economy, people remember stronger paychecks and lower inflation. On the border, he's seen as the only one serious about fixing it. And on foreign policy, his unapologetic America First stance still commands attention. Trump may not be everyone's favorite personality, but in terms of performance, he's still miles ahead.
When they ask who has a better plan, Republicans crushing it on crime, immigration, wars, the economy, even corruption. Democrats win by 2 points on respect for democracy. Now, some of this is just because people are stupid.
And that's the Democrats' biggest problem. Their only strategy is fighting Trump. That's it. Their entire political identity is built around opposing one man. It worked once when Biden won, but when they tried it again against Trump and Kamala, voters were over it. People wanted solutions, not endless outrage. But the DNC offered no plans, no leadership, and no vision, just more anti-Trump talking points. Without Trump as their boogeyman, the party has nothing left to stand on, and voters are noticing.
Let's win on healthcare, environment, women's rights, respect for democracy. But on those issues, I bet you that are the big ones that they vote on more: crime, immigration, wars, economy, corruption. So That's the takeaway there.
The only thing the Democratic Party stands for today is opposition to Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And I just read Kamala Harris's new book, 107
No,
Days.
you didn't.
I did?
No, you didn't.
Maher was absolutely right. The more people saw of Kamala Harris, the less they liked her. Her forced laughter, vague answers, and awkward speeches made it clear she wasn't ready for prime time. Beneath the photo ops and celebrity endorsements, there was nothing of substance. When faced with real questions, she either dodged, stumbled, or laughed. Voters saw right through it. She didn't lose because of bad luck or sexism. She lost because there was no authenticity behind the image.
As you probably know, it's like a diary of what happened, but I was looking for, okay, and what's the plan for the future? There wasn't any, and she's just indicative of the party at large. And by the way, that's one of the reasons she lost.
She's rewriting history in the book, too. She's now against men and women's sports. Like, come on. Like, they tried to dismantle Title IX against women when she was vice president.
Right. I mean, that's just one of many examples.
She could have had 701 days and would have still lost that race.
But you're right. The data says it's cost of living, it's inflation, it's immigration, illegal immigration, all those things. Everything else is at the bottom.
And by the way,
law and order crime.
107 days, way too many for anybody, but including her.
Right.
But the more they got to know her, the less they liked her. I've said this many times on this show. Other countries don't do this. They don't have years to run.
In the end, Bill Maher's takedown of Kamala Harris and the entire Democratic establishment was brutally honest. The DNC has no true leader, no fresh ideas, and no connection with real Americans. Kamala's blame game, The View's fake bravery, and the party's obsession with Trump all reveal the same thing, a movement that's lost its purpose. Maher simply said what everyone else is thinking. The Democrats aren't losing because of Trump. They're losing because of themselves. Until they stop worshiping wokeness and start taking responsibility, they'll keep writing books about losing instead of making history by winning. And that wraps up today's video. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.